When I got nowhere to turn, nowhere else to go, turn to Jesus. We ain't sung it in a long time. We may start singing that again. That's good practice. We told them this morning, last time it's been a while since we've been here, a couple of years. Since we were here last, I had a little sickness and almost died. That ain't no joking matter, is it? But I was telling them this morning, a young man over at the church he was diagnosed with cancer, if I'm right. We gathered around. I believe in prayer. I don't know what you believe in. I believe in prayer. I believe God's never changed. I believe God can heal. And I believe that. Matter of fact, I know it. You're looking at one. They put me in the hospital on a Wednesday night, and I don't tell this real often. Couldn't find out I had pancreatitis. But I had a triglyceride level of 3,200 and some odd. Who's counting? Cholesterol of 650 and an A1C of 8.5. The enzymes were just out the roof. And I don't know much about that stuff, but I told them this morning, my sister's a nurse practitioner. She's a lot smarter than me, but I'm a lot better looking. But she was telling me that it's very dangerous and how I could have died in a stroke, heart attack, or whatever. I was laying in my bed, and the hospitals are terrible. Never been in the hospital before. I know Dale's around the hospital a lot, and some of you may be. I don't like them too good. I'll just be honest with you. You can't sleep. You can't rest. They're always a gouging and a poking and a waking you up and turning the light on in your face. But, I've never been in, so this was new to me. But way up in the night, when you're laying in the bed, and when things don't seem too good, don't seem like there's much hope, we'll talk to the one that has all the hope. I was laying in my bed, and I said, Lord, I'm a young man, and I want to see my child grow up. I'd like to see him graduate college. I'd like to see grandkids. In other words, I want to grow old, just like everybody else. But whatever's going to happen, it's in your hands anyway. Saturday they came in, and I was chomping at the bits to go home, and they'd done the labs that morning. They said, if your enzymes are down, we'll let you go home. They didn't say anything about the other. They came in with a little sticky note, and my sister got it, and she said, there ain't no way. And I looked at her, like, what's going on? I want to know. This is me you're talking about. In 3 days, now I have people praying all over the place. Big John over in Tennessee, pastor at Shawnee Church. He came and seen me in the hospital. And I knew churches all over the country was praying. In 3 days, that 3,200 and some odd was 600. That 650 was 300. The enzymes were perfect. And I have a lot of people that you tell that to, and they say, well, you was in the hospital and they didn't really do anything. I got a lady back here who would know what I'm talking about. I couldn't eat nothing, couldn't drink nothing, wouldn't even let me have ice. God can do a lot in 3 days. And in the Bible, there's a lot of things happened in 3 days. Am I not right, preacher? I just don't believe in a coincidence. I believe God intervenes a lot of times. I go back, so they let me out, and I go back to the doctor. I go back to the doctor a week later. My doctor is a fine Christian man. I'm going to just tell you what he said, Dr. Ashburn, and you probably know who I'm talking about. We're sitting there and he tells me this and that, going to put you on medication, you've got to lose weight, you've got to go on a diet, and you've got to change your lifestyle. And I did. I did all that. You know, we're not supposed to be stupid. We're supposed to listen. You know, God just don't do a lot of, you know, sometimes he does it through physicians. I believe that. I said, now look, Doc, I'm going to do whatever you tell me. But I said, what I want to know is, in 3 days, you know what the numbers were. How did they go down drastically? He closed his book, and he looked at me, and he said, I don't know. I said, I think I've got a clue for you. And I told him what I thought about God, people praying. And I said, I believe I got a touch, Doc. I believe I got a miracle. How many believe in miracles? I do. And he looked right back at me, Brother Dale, and he said, I think you're right. Today I take no medication. The talk was that I was going to be a severe diabetic. I take zero medication. That's what God can do. But he can also take a life that's scarred with sin. You got no hope. You got nowhere to go. You got nowhere to turn. And I've also been there. He can take that life and he can change it. And I hope tonight, if you don't know Jesus, that you'll accept him tonight. But as I said all that, I thought of another song we've not sung in a long time. And I want to sing it. And I want you to listen to the words.